Oh, yeah. So, yeah, the other thing I can tell you about the Santa Claus is, all those sets we built in a warehouse.
Hmm.
Um, it was an abandoned warehouse, and we filled it up from edge to edge with sets, and it was amazing because even shooting this film for the few months that I shot it, I'd walk around in that stage and get lost. Uh, the sets were so darn big, but you know, you had the Elf's workshop and all those things had to be built. But yeah, but now Toronto is a different place. They have so many stages up there, and it's such a good, well-equipped place to shoot. So yeah, I remember one day I was trying to light the place, and I think there was a total of between the bedrooms and the elf set and different things. I can't even remember how many sets were on there, but I just know I was trying to light it, and I had to climb up on top of one of the sets, and there was corridors between the sets just big enough for the condors and the scissor lifts to get through. And I'm up there spending my time with a walkie-talkie, just directing this equipment around, just so there wouldn't be a traffic jam. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a pretty major undertaking for such a small budget.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite part of the movie?
I got to tell you, I just love the interaction between Eric, Lloyd, and Tim. All of those scenes. It was heartbreaking at first when Tim didn't make some of the dates that he had set up with Eric, but the reunion, I just thought they had such a great chemistry. I really loved that part of it, and it was fun. It was fun, even though, like I said, the effects are kind of cheesy because it was so low budget. But it was fun doing all the stuff in the sled with them. I really enjoyed that. It's funny because when someone asks me what's my favorite part of any movie, it's a hard question to answer because all I remember mostly are all the good things. I mean, I know I've been on some films that have been very difficult and hard to get through, as everyone has in their career. But I don't know. I don't remember too much of that. I just remember, what a good time it was and how much fun we had. I remember the crew that I had working on that film. They were Chris Holmes. It was just a great bunch of people. And I think everyone had a relatively good time.
Sure looks like it. If I had to pick my favorite scene, it was the one where Scott is all snappy towards that girl, saying he's lactose intolerant and milk and cookies, and then he gets given lactose gets a different kind of milk the next year. Remember that?
Right, exactly. Well, and I also remember that I think it was taken out of the film eventually, but but he retorted something to Wendy Cruz, and I can't remember what their character names were at this point. His wife and or his ex-wife, and he mentioned a phone number. He said, "Call 1-800 Spank Me," and you know, it was just ad lib, and it ended up in the film. And then apparently some kid, you know, somewhere after the film was released, called 1-800 Spank Me, and it turned out to be a real sex line. And the kid or the poor parents ended up with a few $100 phone bill for this and so Disney, I think, subsequently edited out or changed the number or did something, did some ADR work on that. But it was released with that line in that 1-800 Spank Me, and that was pretty funny. But I also remember another line that Tim had. How did it go? It was something like Wendy was asking him what he was doing, and he said, "Well, I took the boy out and taught him how to field skin a cat, and gave him a bowl of sugar and something else." But it was just hilarious. But Tim, as you know, is such a great comedian. He's always full of lines, that he would ad lib. Yeah. I mean, this was 95. How many years ago? That's 10, 20, going on 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should probably sit down and watch this film again before I talk to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's been a lot of films since the Santa Claus. Yeah, we shot it in 1993, I think. Yeah, and it was released in '94 because I remember the next film I did right after this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a while ago.
It definitely was.
I was a young man then.
And I wasn't born yet.
No, you weren't. Oh.
I was 4 years behind.
Yeah. I did a series, and I believe it was Charleston, and the actor in it, one of the main actors in it came up to me and said, Walt, he goes, I'm so happy to be working with you because your film got my sister and I through probably the hardest time in our life. And I said, really? Which film? And he said, The Santa Claus. And I couldn't imagine how the Santa Claus got anyone through a hard time in their life. But it turned out that this poor guy, and he's a wonderful, wonderful man. But he was about 10 years old when it was released. And his mother had just died, like the week before it was released. And he said that he and his sister just sat through that holiday season watching the Santa Claus over and over and over again. And he said, it was the only thing that got him through the holiday season. And that's, I got to tell you, that's why I feel so privileged and so honored to be in the film business. I remember after I saw that John Boorman's crew making Deliverance, I actually got a job in a movie theater in Athens, Georgia, where I was going to college. And the first 3 films I saw were MASH, Walkabout, and Catch-22. and they had such an impact on my life, such an impact on my life, and the fact that I can and have worked on films that have impacted people's lives, I feel that's a real privilege and a real honor, to be able to do that, and I don't take it lightly. I really don't. So I feel like I've been blessed with this great opportunity, and I cherish it.
That is incredible, man. I know what it's like to impact other people in a good way, you know.
Yes, you do. You do good things every morning, don't you?
Yeah, I try to make it a goal to keep doing acts of random kindness every day and continuing to inspire people with my channel and podcast.
Yeah, that's great, Douglas. That's really great.
Thank you, man. This is the last question I have because we are running short on time for a normal RNU episode. But yeah, how can your journey impact the world, you think?
How did my journey impact the world? Well,
Or how can it?
how can it? Well, if I feel like if you can make one person smile, you know, every day, you've impacted the world tremendously, and hopefully, some of the films that I've worked on do that, and hopefully some of my actions do that. So again, it's all about life is all about trying to spread some joy, I think, and in films like this, or another comedy I did with Superstar, which I you know I've had kids come up to me and say, Superstar, it's my favorite movie, and so yeah, I guess I don't really look at it as I'm out trying to impact the world, but I'm trying to maybe make one person a little bit happier occasionally. That's my goal.
Ah, that's a good goal to have, man. And you did a pretty good job of it from what it looks like.
Oh, well, thank you, Douglas. Thank you.
No problem. It's good to reminisce on old times, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. uh, I can't believe how long ago this film was, though.
And the fact you haven't seen the sequels yet.
Yeah, I know. I'm awful, aren't I? Well,
Yeah.
so
Have any final
all right.
thoughts?
Uh, no, I'm. I wish I could remember just like one particular amazing incident on the Santa Claus, but like it was. I just remember it was just a really great time. I think Oakville was the name of the little town right outside of Toronto that we were shooting, and the people there were so nice. They were so accommodating to have a film crew there, which, as you know, is not always the case. But they seemed genuinely thrilled to have us, which is always nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember sitting on top of a crane though to get that wide shot and being able to see across the lake to the lights of Buffalo, and I was blown away. I was blown away because God, Buffalo is so far to get to it because you have to drive around the lake. But yeah, no. And now that you're talking about it, a lot of memories are coming back. Uh, but yeah, all in all, it was just a great time. I had a great time, and feel privileged to have been able to shoot it.
That's great to hear, man. So we thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me, and happy holidays to you. And we'll see you around.
Yep, see you around. And everybody, Merry Christmas, and to all a good night.
And I'll second that. Thank you, Douglas.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, good night.
Night.